Alright, so we're going to do a video here on weight loss. Now I got to tell you that this is the video that I have been dreading doing since I started TechPB, okay? Absolutely dreading doing. I know I'm going to get attacked by the nutrition Nazis, that's fine and dandy. You know, all I can say is I can show you the proof that at one time in my life I weighed over 330 pounds and I got the weight off and I've managed to keep it off now for 7-8 years. So I think I've got some really good insight into what it takes to lose weight. You know, do I have six-pack abs? No, I do not have six-pack abs, okay? But you know, I don't necessarily think that should disqualify me from giving my opinion or giving my advice as to what I did to lose the weight. Now, I also want to say that I don't need anybody else's advice necessarily on what to do to lose weight. I've already lost the weight and I know what it takes to lose the weight. So what I'm going to do in this video is not necessarily preach to you what you should do. I'm going to tell you what I did, okay? And I'll tell you what my circumstances was, okay? Now I posted the pictures at the beginning of this video. There's also a thread in the Paintball nutrition section over on TechPB titled Fat Mike. You go on Google, type in Fat Mike TechPB and you can see the pictures of what happened, okay? Graduated college, I was a little bit overweight when I graduated college, not that much. I was weighing like 210, 215. Got a job about a year or two out of college. I was working 6-7 days a week, 12-hour plus days. And just completely let my health go. I was out drinking, I was making tons of money, we were having food brought into the office, and we were there from like 8 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, and it was just a non-stop, you know, eat, drink, not sleep, just absolute murder on your health. And you know, about a year and a half into that, one day I went and stood on the scale, and my scale, it was a mechanical scale, it peaked at 330 pounds, and it just spun and slammed into the 330. So I know I was above 330 because I was about a 48 stretch waist, okay? So now I'm usually about a 36, you know, 38, depending on, you know, what kind of pants. I've got a big butt, so, you know, you know, sometimes the 36 pants aren't cut right for me. But at that time, I was wearing a 48 stretch waist, okay? Stretch waist. This means I probably should have been buying like a 52, but it was so embarrassing as it was to buy the 48 stretch waist that's just what I was getting, was the stretch waist 48. The one thing I'll tell you that really hit me one day when I realized how big I had gotten was I read an article and I also found out firsthand that obese people, overweight people are the most discriminated against group of people inside the entire world, okay? So if you took a class of people, let's say for instance the movie Speed, okay? You have that bus, everybody on the bus, that's basically every single stereotype that's out there, okay? If you took everybody on the bus on the movie Speed except for, you know, the Indian in the full headwear, I think that's the only stereotype they left out. If you took all those people and you put an overweight person, a heavy person on there, the person who would get discriminated against the most would be the overweight person, okay? Now this could be argued, I understand everybody thinks they're discriminated against, this, that, and the other, okay, black people, you know, Hispanic people like myself, white people, everybody now thinks they're all getting discriminated against. But one thing I think we can all agree upon, once you get overweight, you now fall into a special level of discrimination where it's still okay, a lot of people feel, to make fun of overweight people, okay? Whereas opposed to, you know, making fun of a black person or a Spanish person or, you know, an Asian person, you know, that may be kind of taboo, but for most, especially here in the US, making fun of an overweight person is perfectly fine. So, you know, to start off with the motivation to start losing weight, that should be the first thing, is understand that once you're overweight, you are in the most discriminated against class. It's going to affect you on everything, okay? Everything from getting jobs, to getting promotions, to when you walk into the room, to how people look at you. That if there's one thing that can help you get the motivation to get away from, or get into, you know, get better health, it should be this one fact. The next thing, I'm going to go right into what my theory was that I came up with. There's 3 different types of weight that you can lose, okay? These 3 things will make the scale go down, but in different ways, okay? The first thing is water weight, okay? Now this is pretty simple, okay? In the middle of the summertime, you weigh yourself, you go out, you mow the grass, you wash your car, you know, trim your bushes on the outside of your house, it's sweltering hot, you sweat a ton, you go back and you step on the scale again, and you're down 2 pounds, okay? That's just water weight, okay? That's not really real true weight loss. You know, once you start drinking water, you rehydrate, that's all gonna go right back up again. But, you know, you didn't burn 7,000 calories mowing your grass. I wish I would, I'd be mowing my grass all day long. But the first type of weight that you can lose, which gets the scale to go down, is water weight. And also, it can also go up sometimes if you're eating a lot of salty food, your body's gonna retain a lot of water to process all that sodium. It can cause the scale to go up. So water weight. The second type of weight that you can lose is muscle mass, okay? And I'm going to tell you a story. Why would you want to lose muscle mass? In most cases, you don't. But I will tell you a story, two stories that happened to me when I lost a lot of muscle mass. There was one time right after my daughters were born, I wanted to get life insurance, okay? You're a father now, you need to get life insurance. And I didn't care how strong I was. I didn't care how much fat I had on my body. I had a particular number that I needed to get under in order to get the premium rate, okay? I knew I had to get my weight down under about, I think it was 194 pounds for my height, which was like 6'4", in order to get the premium rate. That's what I was told by my insurance people. So they had their height weight chart, and I had to give up. They didn't care about body mass index. They didn't care about how much muscle. They didn't care how many push-ups or pull-ups I could do. They didn't care how much I could bench press. They wanted stand on the scale in your underwear. How tall are you? There's your rate for the next 20 years, okay? So I went on a diet where I didn't eat any protein, okay? I hardly ate any protein. I was just eating veggies and drinking water, you know, nothing but greens. I did this for almost 2 months, starved myself down to about 194 pounds. Got the premium rate, now I'm paying on that for the next 20 years, and I paid for that dearly, okay? It took me 6 to 8 months of exercise and proper diet in order to get myself to be somewhat healthy. I couldn't even do 3 push-ups. I mean, I literally was fighting to do 3 push-ups. That's how weak I had gotten. But I wanted to bring up that example, muscle mass, that's, you know, that you can lose that. Another thing, recently here, the Thanksgiving of 2012, both me and Jen both caught influenza, okay? We were out for like 3 weeks straight. We couldn't eat anything, we couldn't keep anything down, throwing up, feeling terrible, and both of us I lost 17 pounds, all muscle mass. My wife lost 10 pounds, all muscle mass. We went back, tried to work out again, and it took us almost a month and a half to start getting our strength back, and it was a nightmare. So muscle mass will cause the scale to go down. And then the most coveted thing to get the scale to go down is fat. So you got those 3 things, and it's important that you understand that those 3 things can make the scale go down: water weight, muscle, and fat. Okay, the next thing is I'm going to get into losing muscle weight and some of the things that get into losing muscle weight. But the first thing I want to talk to you about is my theory on fat loss, okay? Now, the way I'm going to try to explain this to you is, everybody knows Fort Knox, okay? You've got, you know, the Fort Knox building, and you've got the big barbed wire fence on the outside, you got the concrete, and then you've got the gold in the middle. Your body loves its fat stores, loves it, okay? Your body just cherishes it. For that, it's like gelatinous gold, okay? It holds on to it until the very, very last end. And like I said, with the barbed wire fence and the concrete, your body has 2 layers of defense that you must get through in order to get to the fat, okay? The first thing I'll tell you is, when your body starts looking for fuel, the first thing it's gonna look for is in your stomach. This is the first layer of defense. The first thing it's gonna do is gonna look in your digestive system. It's gonna look for sugar, carbs. Let's just consider both these things. This is rice, and this is sugar, okay? This one's instant energy, one just processes a little bit more and then it turns into energy. Pasta is the same thing. Okay, but for the purpose of this video, let's consider sugar and carbs to be the same thing, because in a way it kind of is. The first thing, when your body needs energy, it's gonna look into your stomach to see if there's any sugar or any carbs in there that it can use for fuel. If there is, it stops there, okay? So if you're constantly eating a lot of sugar, if you're constantly eating a lot of carbs, when your body looks for energy, it's going to find it in your digestive tract. It's never going to go past the first layer of security or first layer of defense to get to the fat stores. The second place, now let's say for instance you're eating properly. So you wake up in the morning, let's say you have 3 eggs in the morning, you're having chicken and vegetables for lunch, chicken and vegetables for dinner, you're hardly eating any sugar, hardly eating any carbs, and your body runs out of carbs in your digestive system. The second place it looks, this is the concrete on the outside of the Fort Knox. The second thing it's going to do is it's going to start eating your muscles. Okay, now your body, you can combat this, and you can combat the damage of it eating your muscles by eating enough protein. Okay, and the example I want to give you on where this is how this second level catches a lot of people is, you see these diets, these fad diets like the grapefruit diet and the cabbage soup diet and stuff like that. Okay, you see these people, and what happens is They get on these diets and they, oh my gosh, I lost 10 pounds in 3 weeks, okay? Then you go and you see the same people 4 or 5 months later, and their weight has just rocketed back up and even more than where when they originally began these crazy ass diets, okay? Oh, I ate grapefruit for 3 weeks and I lost 10 pounds. Oh, I ate cabbage soup for a month and I lost 15 pounds, okay? Well, yeah, they got through the sugar, they got through the first line of defense, which was the sugar, but what ended up happening was that their body digested their muscle, okay? And they didn't need enough protein to recover that. So now the fat still stayed exactly the same, but the muscle is all gone and it made the scale go down. Now what happens is their metabolism now just went into the toilet, because instead of them needing 1,800 calories a day to maintain their weight, they're down now to 1,400 calories, so they've lost all that muscle mass. And then they go back to eating, you know, somewhat normal, but now instead, now they're, you know, 400 plus calories up, you know, positive every single day, and they're gaining a pound a week, or even more sometimes. They can't figure out why. The reason why was because this diet that they went on, their body went and started eating their muscle, their metabolism went down, and now they're in serious, serious trouble. That's what I got into when I got the flu, when I went on, you know, did that thing with the life insurance, okay? My body ingested all that muscle, and it took me a long time of exercise and proper diet in order to get all that back. Once if you can repair the damage done when it comes and eats, when your body goes and consumes the muscle, because it will, I swear to God it will. It will come and eat your muscles, but the only way to repair that is by eating enough protein. Now, there's a lot of theories out there as to how much protein you should eat. I would say at a bare minimum, 0.5 gram per pound of your ideal body mass. So let's say that if at a sedative state, you know, if you're just doing just basic cardio, basic exercise, if let's say your ideal weight is 200 pounds, you know, say you're 6 feet tall, whatever, you want to weigh 200 pounds, okay? At a bare minimum, you should be eating at a bare minimum 100 grams of protein every single day if you're doing just very light basic cardio. I would say, I mean, that's at the bare minimum, okay? That's basically 2.5 chicken breasts, or maybe 4 or 5 eggs and 2 chicken breasts. That's about 100 grams of protein. So, you know, if you start doing, you know, strength training, if you start doing, you know, more intense cardio, then maybe you may want to go up to 0.75, so maybe you want to hit 150 grams. If you start doing some extreme strength training, maybe even doing 2-a-days where you're doing cardio and weightlifting on each day, you probably want to go to 1 gram per pound of your ideal body weight, so it may be 200 grams. So that's, you know, that's how you defend your muscles from being incinerated when you start going on a diet. Okay, so we established the two layers of defense that your body has in place for the muscle. Now, I'll tell you, once I got that part right, the weight for me just started coming off, okay? I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, every time I stood on the scale, down another pound, down another 2 pounds, down another 1 pound, down another 1.5 pounds, and it just kept going down and going down and going down. And it's also the formula that I follow now. If, let's say, for instance, I go and I cheat a little bit, I splurge a little bit, I go up a couple pounds, and I need to drop some weight, that's how I do it, okay? I still continue to do that to this day. And it just works great. It's so simple to follow. Okay, why am I not losing weight? Well, probably eating too much carbs and sugar. Let me cut that down. Okay, and then now I need to make sure I eat enough protein so that when my body eats the muscles for fuel, I can repair it. Okay, now once you get to that, now it goes down, it goes and starts attacking the fat. Once you start doing that, I'm telling you, the weight will just start coming off. Next thing we're going to talk about is let's talk about, you know, about how many pounds or whatever do you think you should lose, you know, a week, a month, this, that, and the other. Here was the formula that I followed that allowed me to lose 1 pound per week consistently, and sometimes even a little bit more. I figured out that the first victory that you have to win when you're heavy is to stop gaining weight, okay? Sometimes it just feels like you just snowball. It's like every time you stand on the scale, you're up 3-4 pounds. Okay, once you level off, that's your first victory. Once you need to level off wherever you're at, and you have to see how many calories per day should you eat in order to just maintain your weight where it's at. Okay, let's say maybe it's 2,000, 2,500, 1,500, everybody's gonna be completely different. Once you figure that out, and once you start eating healthy, and I'll get into that here in a second, you basically, once you start leveling off, now once you start to level off, your goal is to shave about 250 calories out of your diet and try to exercise and burn another 250 calories, okay? If you do that, 250 calories out of your diet, 250 calories worth of exercise, that's 500 calories a day, lower than what you would normally be at. You should be ideally losing about 1 pound a week. Sometimes it comes off even faster, okay? how to exercise 250 calories. That's pretty simple. Just do anything, okay? 1 hour of exercise a day is only a little more than 4% of your entire day. Okay, so get off of Facebook. Stop fucking texting people. Stop sitting in front of the TV. Do something. Even if you're organizing your house, even if you're playing with your kids. That's one of the best ways to burn calories. I love doing it. I come and play with my daughters for like an hour or two every single night. I chase them when we play a game called Monster, where I hide one part of the house. They come over and find me, and I chase them all the way back, and we do that for like 2 hours. I mean, play with them in the backyard. If you've got kids, there's no reason for you to be overweight. Go play with your freaking kids. I mean, well, what else do you want to do right now? So, you know, you've got to find a way to try to exercise between 20 to 40 minutes a day. If you can't get up to an hour, great. If it's an hour worth of exercise, you're only talking about 4% of your total day. Okay, so, you know, if you've got to get involved maybe at a local YMCA, there's a million things that you can do. Now, there's also a lot of controversy out there whether lifting weights is more beneficial, whether cardio. Whichever one you can do is the best one to do, okay? If you can go and lift weights, you can get into a nice little routine with a trainer, you know, go and do that. If you can go and find some place that's really fun, some sort of cardio activity or something that you can do, go and do that. Either one of them is gonna help you get to that 250 calorie burn for that 1 hour of exercise. You're looking just to try to get 250 calories out of your system via exercise and shave about 250 calories out of your diet. Once you do that, you're down 500 calories a day. That's 3,500 calories a week. You will lose a pound of fat every single week. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stop the video with this. And what I'm gonna do is I want you guys, anybody that has any questions, to post them down into the comments box, and I'll try to answer them as best I can based on my experience, you know. And I'm gonna make a couple videos on this. I'm gonna show you, you know, some basic recipes, some things that you can cook and stuff like that at home. And the reason why I did this video in the kitchen, like I said, was if you're really serious about losing weight, you are gonna have to start cooking your own food, okay? You can't be eating at someone else's kitchen and expect to lose weight. You're gonna have to start cooking your own food. You're gonna start cooking your own breakfast. You're gonna have to start Tupperwaring your own lunches, and you really need to start getting control of your own, your own nutrition plan, and really just, start making your own foods, okay? That there's no way, it's really almost impossible to lose weight by eating out and going to restaurants and stuff like that, okay? That's a splurge, that's a cheat meal, okay? But most of the time, you need to start making your own food. And for me, it was chicken and vegetables. I ate chicken and vegetables for a year and a half. That weight just came off so fast. I'd have 2 or 3 eggs in the morning, chicken and vegetables for lunch, chicken and vegetables for dinner, and that was, I tell you, the weight just flew right off. So, but I'm gonna get into more of that here in a more video, but I wanted to leave this video on that. Post your comments down below, and I'll try to address, more concerns, all those comments down into the next video. Thanks for tuning in.